Welcome, I'm Rebecca, and I'm here with Lasell College Radio General Manager and Program Director Brian Warnica, and we're going to talk about LCR's use of social media. How are you today?
Good, how are you? Thanks for coming here.
So first, can you give us a little background about LCR and what duties you have as General Manager?
Sure. The radio station started in August of 2004. They built the station over the summer. And we began operation literally that semester. I think it was November 17th that we finally got on the air and started broadcasting live once all the DJs got their training and that the stream was put live on the internet. My responsibilities for LCR, supervising the entire operation obviously. I have several staff that work below me, news director, station manager, 3 music directors, and we also have, and we've been trying to work on some people that handle the social media aspect of our station. Beyond that, typical budgetary role, in purchasing equipment, deciding what we need to buy, and maintenance, managing the general management of the station.
Okay. And can you just describe the setup of the radio?
Sure. The radio station has 3 rooms. The main room is the production studio where all the live broadcasts take place. It's large enough to hold comfortably probably about 8 people. So we can have small bands come in and perform, or sometimes they'll have acoustic sets perform in there. And then in the back we have 2 other rooms. One's just a general office with some computers, and then the other room is the production suite where students can go to do recordings and to produce commercials and PSAs and things like that.
Well, so LCR has a webpage, radio.lasell.edu. Can you tell us a little bit about what's on the webpage?
Sure. Yeah, I designed the webpage pretty much from the beginning. When I knew we were going to be an online station, I felt that we needed an online website, not just a single page, that says click here to stream. I've been designing websites since gosh, 1998, 99, probably 1998, or 97 actually, now that I think about it. I started in 97, so I've been designing sites for a good 7 years, before starting with Lasell, and so I figured we needed a website that not only allowed people to log in to listen to our stream, but that also talked about the station. So we have a page about our staff. We have a page about the station and the history and what equipment that we use. There's a directions page that's important for bands that are going to be coming to visit us to go on the air, so they have directions from all different places. There's a contact page. We have a page for all of the podcasts. Over the years, the students have been doing lots of great things, interviewing lots of great artists and musicians. And so I figured we've been recording these, let's put them out there as podcasts and really show the world kind of what we've got in addition to our live stream. Then we have a news page and, a listen page. Basically the typical pages I would hope you'd expect out of a radio site.
And are there any ways for listeners to connect with the DJ through the page?
There is. It's actually just this semester, for the first time ever, one of our staff members, our news director, Zachary Gray, found an application online where we got a free phone number that students can use to text us, and we receive the texts through email. So that's one way we've been interacting with our audience.
Okay, cool. Does LCR typically always broadcast live, or?
Yes. Most of the time the music that you hear is being broadcast by a student DJ. We do have ways of automating music when DJs aren't in the booth, but that hasn't been something that we've been training them on, because we encourage them to be there for their shows and not to run automated programs. However, we are looking into it as a possibility to fill some gaps in the schedule in the future, especially at the beginning of the semesters when we're just formulating the new schedule. There's always gaps in the schedule, and I think it would be nice to have automated sound and music as opposed to dead air.
Mm-hmm. So are all the hosts Lasell students, or do you have other?
Yes, it's one of the requirements for LCR is that you need to be a Lasell College student to have a radio show. I've actually received, believe it or not, I have received emails from students at other colleges that don't have a radio station that would like to be DJs, and I tell them, well, if you're friends with a Lasell student, you can always join them for their show, but as far as getting access, you need to have a Lasell ID to get access to the station, and I prefer to have only Lasell College students running full-time shows.
Great. And what is LCR's target audience?
It's interesting because our audience is very diverse. Okay, I would say, to be honest with you, that more adults, parents, and family and friends of the DJs, and particularly when we broadcast sporting events, it's usually the parents of those athletes that can't attend the games. A lot of times it's the parents of the visiting team that are out of state or a far enough distance away that they can't get tuned in. That they can't come to campus. But we do have some students that listen, or staff around the college that listen. But I'd say overall our target audience are people older than the average Lasell student. And it's an interesting situation too, because I would say the other part of the coin is that the music differences, there are music differences between the DJs and the students here at Lasell. I think the majority of Lasell College is more into the hip-hop, R&B, pop music theme, where most students that go into radio tend to be more into indie and alternative rock. And we do have some hip-hop shows, for sure, but I think if you were to look at our schedule page and they're color-coded by genre, you're going to see a lot more yellow flags for indie and alternative and some red flags for loud rock, as opposed to the pop scene. However, when we put on a lot of our performances, and like the Halloween dance and all the dances that we put on, the general theme of the music is hip-hop, R&B, dance, and pop music. So it's interesting. Students love our events, but I don't think they love all of the music that we put out there. It's just two different breeds.
Now, during the shows, do the DJs try to interact with the audience? Do you have like open calls or?
We do. We have the option. Okay, that's one thing we don't require of our DJs because it is a volunteer position to be a DJ. We don't pay them. They don't receive any credit. So we do have rules and guidelines. We do, let's say, ask every DJ to play a station ID every 15 minutes or so, to play one PSA an hour, to read their news. As far as whether or not they reach out to the audience, it's entirely up to that DJ and that DJ's comfort in doing so and their personality type. I would say more than half of the DJs that are in there will solicit phone calls and text messages, constantly asking the audience to communicate with them on a regular basis. But there are other DJs as well that don't, they're happy just playing their music. They kind of probably have a set playlist ready to go, and they don't want anyone making a request and changing the format of their show.
So when DJs do reach out, do students or the listeners typically contact them back?
Yes. As a matter of fact, we do, and we do get feedback. Prior to the text line, we used to use Instant Messenger, America Online Instant Messenger. It was more successful than the phone calls. For some reason, we're in a texting age. As we all know, people would rather just send a text or an email than actually call, which is kind of scary, the way that I think the world's going in that direction. But anyways, that's how it's going. I can say that since we got the text line, we've been getting a lot more requests. I've heard DJs say that they can't believe how much more the requests have picked up in the communication since we've gotten that form of media. I don't think we get a lot of phone calls for requests. I think the only phone calls that probably we get are from listeners that if maybe they're tuned into a sports radio broadcast and they want to participate in that discussion. But as for requests, I want to say that probably 90-something% of all the requests for just a song come through the text line.
Wow. And is this all from the student body of Lasell?
It was developed from them, yes. Yeah, that was all their idea.
So what social media tools does LCR use?
Back in '04, we did have a MySpace page and then eventually a Facebook page. And it wouldn't surprise me, I haven't checked in a while, but it wouldn't surprise me if there are 2 Facebook pages out there, but one of them is really the active one. We have had students kind of take on the role of social media director. We've had different names for the position. I want to say that's probably the one that's going to stick. How much they do is a question though that I have to ask. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We've used Facebook to advertise our events. We're going to put on dances and concerts. I know most of the students have gone on there to post and to see how many people RSVP and things like that. But as for using it to its full potential, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Our photo galleries are still only located on our website. I know there are plenty of students that post pictures from Lasell College events on their own personal Facebook pages, but I don't see why those pictures shouldn't be being put up on the Lasell College Radio Facebook page as well. So it's definitely been an underutilized tool, and every year, if someone asks me about it, that answer has been the same. You know, we've had students pick it up, they might do a few good things, and then it kind of just drops. It just hasn't been a consistent focus.
Have you ever thought about a Twitter?
I haven't. As a matter of fact, I don't tweet, so it's for me personally, it hasn't been a focus for me. You know, I know that that's really big right now, and I know blogs and tweets are really big, and I'm hoping that we get some ambitious students that are into that stuff to kind of pick that slack up. Because right now the general manager that's not where my attention is right now. Right now I'd say my attention is more towards getting our stream to be more compatible with Mac users. That's a big issue right now. About 40% of our audience is having trouble just tuning in. You know what I mean? So it's like until those little things are taken care of, it's hard for me to reach out to adding more let's say wood to the fire. You know what I mean? We've got to put some fires out first.
Definitely. So do you think that there would be one social media tool that would really benefit LCR that you would use more or maybe perfect?
I think that's a good question for the students, and like I said, you're always welcome to talk to Jay. I can give you his contact information if you want to shoot a couple shots with him and add to this discussion. Honestly, I don't know what would be more effective between, let's say, moving forward with the Facebook initiative or focusing more on Twitter.
Okay. And just to wrap up, what is your favorite social media site that you use for personal or work or whatever?
My favorite social media site. Let me know what you consider social media sites before I answer that question.
Anything, Facebook, Twitter, any type of blog that you can interact, really anything you can interact with people.
Okay, interacting with people online. Let's see. I think the one I use the most is Facebook, okay? And the funny part about that is I probably am not on Facebook, and I'm not joking about this at all. I don't think I'm on Facebook more than an hour a month. That's how little I use Facebook. It just hasn't been. I didn't grow up with it. It hasn't been a thing. I just got a smartphone 2 months ago, and even with unlimited texting, unlimited internet, I have never accessed Facebook on my cell phone. On my smartphone, it's a Galaxy Prevail. I have, and I'm probably averaging maybe 20 texts a week. That's how much I use it. Okay, I'm a communicator. Obviously I teach radio, effective speaking, communication classes. So I'm the guy that picks up the phone and just calls everybody. I feel that it's faster, it's more direct, and I don't know. It's my preference right now. However, I am studying texting in my dissertation, so I'll share those results with you hopefully next year.
Great. Well, thank you. This is Rebecca. We're here with Brian Wardiga talking about LCR's use of social media.